doing a little bit of after show. I'm here with comedian Chris Gethard. No, I just did it on purpose. It's Gregg. That's kind of a trigger thing with him.
Totally triggered.
Yeah. We're talking about comedy, and it's complicated. We barely touched the surface. We danced around. I have this chart I always use. It's silly, smooth, and witty with comics, and who crosses over. It's kind of a Venn diagram
of comedy.
Oh,
I'd love to take a look at this.
And right in the center is your guy.
Yeah. Oh, my two favorites in the center.
Yeah.
Bill Murray and Steve Martin.
Who kind of dance in all arenas and have danced in all arenas.
Yep. And then I like it because
I actually agree with most of it.
Yeah, I'll go over this like a little bit at a time, right? So this Venn diagram, in the center of smooth, silly, and witty are Bill Murray and Steve Martin, who are my two favorites. Bill Murray, I think Groundhog Day is on the short list of best movies ever made.
Yes.
There's been so much written about the hidden spirituality in that movie and all of like the different religious trends. And it's so much deeper than you actually get. But it's also hilarious.
I didn't like him that much until that movie. I liked him in Caddyshack, but there was tension between him and Chevy Chase. You could feel it, and they were jockeying for position. But Groundhog Day was just a great movie.
It's such a great movie.
Ironically, I can watch it over and over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And then moving over a little bit more to silly and witty, at the top of the list is Conan OBrien, who is my favorite too. I love Conan OBrien.
Everybody
so
can't
much.
be your favorite.
I have so many favorites. All these people. I'm just going to say these people are my favorites. Conan. I think Conan and David Letterman are the best two late night people ever. And
what about Carson?
Carson a little bit before my time. I did grow. So I have insomnia. I've had insomnia my whole life. So that's how I got addicted to late night TV from like 4th grade.
And that giant cup of solid black coffee you ordered, I could tell. Yeah. But I drink coffee like a night watchman, by the way.
Kind of, yeah. I can. That's actually I only had half a cup before I came here.
Okay.
So I've only had half a cup of coffee today. But I'm not nearly as caffeinated as you would assume. But I can get pretty caffeinated. But so I grew up, I did watch a lot of Carson, but Carson was in his 60s when
he was winding down.
Yeah, and it's just there's a gap between his jokes with Ed McMahon, and my level
of you don't know the history of them behind. Yeah.
And his him telling a Bill Clinton joke from the perspective of a 60-year-old man is a lot different than Conan OBrien doing
And it really did turn into two buddies sitting there talking a lot. And I get that. I
appreciate it now a lot more when you watch. I get it a lot more, but when I was 15.
You don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you become that.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't become Conan OBrien.
Exactly.
You go from Conan to him.
Exactly. So, Letterman was the first. My mom, I was watching Letterman. I was in hysterics. I used to wake my parents up every night laughing, and they would want to kill me for being up until 1 a.m. When I'm in 6th grade or whatever. And then my mom got me for Christmas, his collected top 10 list books.
Yeah.
They are still so funny. Getting those books was a major point of where my life took. I got in 6th grade, 7th grade, and that's where my life took a turn with those books.
He was
so influential on me.
He was always hit or miss with me, and when he was Monty Python, great comedians, hit or miss with me completely.
I'm not the biggest. I'm not the biggest Monty Python. Hit or miss, total hit or miss.
When you say that to people, they just look at you like you just said something horrible. But what I did like on Letterman was Larry Bud Melman was gold.
Of course. Gold.
It was gold.
And
Calvin DeForest.
So I love Letterman's just his total when he was doing things throwing 100,000 marbles off of roofs.
Yeah, and the watermelons.
That's just perfect. When you, that was just I'm what is this? I don't even know what this is, but this is exactly what I want to watch on TV all of the time.
Well, it was he would go back to he would be high schooly. Yeah. He was your goofy friend.
Exactly. Yeah. I watched I've probably watched 50 times this year alone when he pesters people at Taco Bell drive-thrus.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so great just to see him infuriate. I don't know why it is, but I think maybe one of the funniest things in the world is when people do infuriate people at fast food drive-thrus. It's like that is so funny. My favorite TV show on right now in terms of infuriating people is Nathan For You on Comedy Central. It's business repair show. It's like a show where like a guy, like, you have a struggling small business, I'll fix it for you. But it's insane. It's a
spoof?
Yeah, it's a spoof. Okay. It's insane. It's not the guy his name's Nathan Fielder. He's the host. And they just come up with the most cockamamie, ridiculous, like one thing he did was, that's just kind of like this is the easy one to explain what he did on his show is, in California, like a few years ago when gas was like $5 a gallon or however much it cost out there. The rule is that you can put you can put gas, you can advertise gasoline to be whatever you want it to cost if you have some kind of rebate. And you don't have to advertise the rebate. So he discovered this rule. So he put gas was like $1 a gallon. So there's like people just getting gas there. And then he would tell them the rebate. And the rebate is you had to meet him, hike up a mountain, answering a series of progressively harder riddles, camp overnight with him. And then when you returned, you would get your rebate. That's the easy thing. That's like the simple thing he came up with. He just did one where he just did one this season. It was on 2 weeks ago where he recruited an army. He recruited taxi cab drivers to all become Uber drivers, which sounds like how they all work anyways, but to ruin Uber. Like, he came up with scientifically proven ways for you to like just get 1-star ratings to try and convince customers, I'll just take a cab as opposed to Uber.
Oh, what a great marketing idea for the taxi industry.
So he was doing, one of the ideas he did was like awful music. So he had one of the cab drivers just play on repeat at full volume Mambo No. 5, like over and over. And people were like, get me out of here. Just get me out of here. And I'm never taking Uber again. So that was like his plan. Like, it's so brilliant.
I use What's New Pussycat for torture.
Something like that. Yeah. So it's so good. It's so good. And then I'm really glad to see on this list under Witty, David Sedaris. I love David Sedaris. I'm a big fan of David Sedaris.
He's a big writer.
He's not a comedian. He's a very, very funny writer. I've seen him perform. Satirist, yeah. I've seen him perform. I've seen him do live readings, and they're really, really great. I think and
there's so many different categories. That's why I kind of silently said satirist. I don't want to call somebody the wrong thing. And
he's a satirist.
Get
absolutely.
A joke book burning on my lawn.
His thing about Chris being an elf, the Santaland Diaries. He was an elf at Macy's, even though he was like 30 years old. Is like. Really, really great thing.
Do you think to be a good comedian that at some point your soul has to die and you're reborn?
Maybe a little. You can make an argument for that. And then the other ones under silly, we have two of my favorites, Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Amy Sedaris, who David's sister, Amy Sedaris, who are beyond talented actresses. I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus is probably like she's she's on my top 5 comedic performers of all time, like on a TV show.
I never found her funny.
She is so good. She is so I don't even watch Veep. My wife was binge watching Veep. I keep meaning to watch it, and I was just like, she is so, every little nuance she does is perfect at it. And then who else? Steve Carell. I am a huge fan of Steve Carell. Office is, I think the American Office is like, has somehow become underrated.
Yeah.
It was everyone's favorite TV show, and now no one remembers it as being that great.
Yeah.
And I've watched it so many times. And it's just like, I like it a lot more than the British version. Like, I'm not like a Ricky Gervais fan anymore.
Do you think he's stuck in the character, though?
Who, Ricky Gervais?
No,
or Steve Carell. Outside of it?
Yeah, I think he kind of is.
He's a brilliant actor.
He is, but I think he's kind of stuck in the character that doesn't quite get the joke that he's part of, you know?
I don't. Hey, he got all those jokes.
That's why
he nailed all of those jokes.
Oh no,
Yeah.
but I mean, like that's why he was so good at playing Maxwell Smart and Get Smart because it was.
He has that awkward. What's going on?
Yeah,
he's got like that type. I didn't see Get Smart, but I loved The Big Short.
Uh-huh.
I loved The Big Short so much, even though it's not a comedy. And he's in it, and I'm like, he is so good at that kind of.
And then he cranked it to the hilt in Anchorman, where he was the weatherman.
He's so good at Anchorman.
I love Lamp.
Yeah, so good at Anchorman. And then I think the person on here who he's in the overlap of silly and smooth. It looks like I don't necessarily agree with the smooth, but so underrated, and people hate on him. Adam Sandler. There will always be a place in my heart for dumb comedy. There will always be I love Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore so much. I love those movies. Anytime they are on TV, if they are on, I will watch those movies.
And that's like half a notch. When you say dumb comedy, are we talking like half a notch above fart jokes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so we're defining.
I love dumb comedy. I don't need highbrow reference.
You don't always want to think.
I'm very I'm getting my second master's degree. I'm very I'm gonna sound like a jerk. I am very, very educated. I want dumb things.
Well, just for the record, I watched you struggle opening up a cookie container.
You did see me. I'm not.
It was a childproof cookie container. I am an idiot. He was going around the sides, looking at the bottom.
How do I do this? You did see that. I am an idiot. I just I'm an idiot
with almost 2 degrees.
Yeah, I almost have 2 degrees. I am an idiot at the same time. I freely admit that.
There's another title for one of your shows.
Yes, I am an idiot. Yeah. No, but I love Adam Sandler so much, and he's like Punch Drunk Love was like a serious movie with some humor to it, and he's brilliant in it. He's spectacular in that movie.
So there's a time for Federal Reserve humor, and there's a time for just farting in a hat humor.
Exactly. You can, and there's no reason why you shouldn't appreciate both.
Both, right?
Right. And people who only like dumb humor, I'm just I just don't know why you don't want to broaden your horizons to understand kind of more of the bigger picture kind of comedy. But the people who are only into I call it the NPR chuckle.
Okay.
People, why don't you like just body functions? Why don't you like the one thing that connects everyone? You know, the thing that connects everyone is stuff like farts and burps and.
It is the great equalizer.
Yeah. Is there anything funnier than a fart in church? No.
Because he who farts in church sits in pew?
Pun.
Wow.
That was not a pun. That was a play on words.
You opened the doorway to one of his puns.
You did open that.
Yeah.
You totally asked for it.
Yeah.
Well, close it.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? You should be able to enjoy everything, and most comics do, I absolutely do.
Is there anything in comedy that you laugh at, but you're embarrassed that you laugh at? Because I'll
tell you my biggest comedic influence. I am so embarrassed by this, but I talk about it all the time.
Okay.
Professional wrestling. I love professional wrestling. Those guys are the greatest comedic performers.
So that's your guilty sin there.
Yeah. My lifelong addiction to pro wrestling.
So
Bobby the Brain Heenan is the greatest comic performer, one of the greatest comic performers of his generation. He's only surpassed in the buffoon category by Ted Knight.
So Ted Knight, the original Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. Judge Smails, Ted Baxter. Bobby the Brain Heenan does that character just as well as Ted Knight.
So wrestling is dinner theater for comics?
It's dinner theater for trash, to be honest. But that is of my ilk. I am of that. I am of them.
So you're not knocking them. You're saying I am them.
I am them. Oh yeah, no. I just because I have an Economist subscription doesn't mean I'm not trash.
So you'll read The Economist while working on your second degree, and then just binge watch wrestling.
I went to a taping of Monday Night Raw at the Wells Fargo Center. I got there early and was doing my financial accounting homework in the car.